If there were other things that you're particularly interested in that, is within her realm to make you part of, then she is more than prepared to do that.
Welcome back to Byline. I'm Brian Lilley. Audio recordings of a top Liberal aide, Deputy Chief of Staff to the Premier, the campaign manager for the Liberal Party of Ontario, promising a job or appointment to get a Sudbury man to give up his bid for the party nomination in a by-election. And that by-election, the vote takes place next week. It's been weeks since Andrew Olivier released these audio recordings of his conversations with the Ontario Liberals, yet so far no charges. Political commentator Guy Annable joins me now in Ottawa. Guy, this is something that I know you've been following. You even tried to reach out to Elections Ontario and file a complaint about this, and you weren't able to. Elections Ontario's investigating, the OPP's investigating. They're saying, well, we'll meet with the Premier eventually. It's going to happen after the vote, as far as I can tell.
Well, Brian, my experience on the Elections Ontario website was if you drill down into the Contact Us section of the website, there is a drill down to a complaint form, which you bring up in an Adobe PDF format, which you fill out 5 very concise questions, your name, address, what your complaint is, and then you're asked to save it to your desktop, and then you're asked to send it to an email address at Elections Ontario.
Hold on, that sounds like a pretty complex. They don't just have a form you can punch all that in on the website and send it in?
Yes, it is a form, Brian, a very efficient form, but unfortunately there is a save to desktop email process back, which is not an actual submit from web hard-coded into the website. So I did this 5 times and then kind of scratched my head and said, why am I sending a blank form? So what I did was I saved the form to my desktop, and I guess the coding on the website for Elections Ontario does not hold the data. So I did it 5 times and basically sent it off, and I received an auto reply response right away that somebody would be in touch with me within 1 day. So with a bit of a web background, I said, okay, what are they going to receive? They're going to receive a blank form with my email address because that's what I'm sending them. So the hard coding on their website doesn't work. Now, if I was a webmaster with Elections Ontario and I received 40, 50, 100 blank forms with email addresses, I would say, what's going on here? But obviously such is not the case. So that was my experience.
It's a very efficient form to ensure that you don't receive any complaints.
I would have to leave that to Elections Ontario to comment, Brian.
The fact that, the OPP has not laid charges yet. They've said very little about this. They originally cleared the Liberals of any wrongdoing. Then Olivier released the recordings. We know about the backing of the OPP union to the Ontario Liberals in the last election. Does any of that leave you concerned for the state of the investigation?
I've been concerned, Brian, about the OPP in relation to the properly functioning provincial police force that we're supposed to have since Caledonia. We have Orange, we have the gas plants, but let's focus on this by-election with a U. We have Jerry Lougheed sitting in front of Andrew Olivier saying, I come to you on behalf of the Premier. We have Patricia Sobera in front of Andrew saying, yeah, we could offer you this, we could offer you that. And we have audio evidentiary proof that 96.1 of the Elections Ontario Act has been breached.
Let's play another clip of Pat Sorbera because it's quite clear that she's saying, what kind of job do you want? And in this clip, you'll hear she says, do you want a part-time job or a full-time job? Roll tape.
We should have the broader discussion about what is it that you'd be most interested in doing, and then decide what shape that could take that would fulfill that, is what I'm getting at, whether it's a full-time or part-time job at a constituent office, whether it is appointments to boards or commissions, whether it is also going on the exec direct. There's lots of, but we would just need to better understand, what is it that you most want to do.
Most of us would say that's being caught red-handed. I can't understand why action hasn't been taken by the OPP yet.
Well, Brian, I've talked to a number of frontline OPP officers who are very concerned about this as well, because the top level of the sworn duty officers, who are their commanders, they're very concerned, Brian. There's a lot of people out there who are OPP officers who pay taxes as well, and they are not happy with this at all. And when you really look at it, from a prima facie standpoint, the fact that the OPP didn't even want to listen to the audio tapes, now have kind of gone back and said, okay, we'll have a listen to them. I've gotten some good advice, Brian, and what has to take place here is our Attorney General must appoint a third-party independent prosecutor from outside the province in a bipartisan committee in the legislature, because this is the test of a properly functioning provincial police department, Brian. After everything from Caledonia to the Orange to the gas plants, when do we restore faith in our provincial police department?
That's a bigger question for another day. Guy, thanks so much.